Hey viewers, welcome to another video of the Casual Pro Gamer, I guess. Today we are doing the Noob guide for noobs on Dota. So obviously I'm not a pro player. I'm level 4 as you can see, but I did learn a little bit about Dota so far. So I'm going to try to explain some of it to you, so that you understand the concept of the game a little bit better. First of all, we're going to explain the heroes. In one of the next episodes, I will explain the items, and then afterwards, I don't know yet. Depends on what you guys want to know. So post in the comments what you'd like to know. I'm going to go over the shop and the items in a later episode. So don't worry about that. As well as the gameplay, so laning phase, ganking, things like that. So the overall what's expected of me in this game. Anyway, we have 3 types of heroes. As you can see, strength, agility, and intelligence. Those things don't mean anything like AD or AP. They just mean that if you build that stat, so if you pick one of the strength heroes, then, so I can actually, oh no, I can't filter here on just strength. If you go for one of the strength heroes, for every strength point you build, you get 1 extra attack damage. For agility, for every agility point you build, you get extra attack damage. For intelligence, for every intelligence you build, you get 1 extra attack damage. It's as simple as that. So everyone has attack damage as their main stat. Skills don't level up with the amount of, of whatever you have. So the amount of strength or intelligence or agility does not change the damage on your skills. That's always the same. It's a flat amount. There are no ratios. So what you're going to do if you want to pick, you're going to have to know what these things stand for. Strength stands for health and health regen. So if you have a strength hero, if you build strength, assuming that you do, then, because you can also go for support items, but if you build strength, then you're going to have a lot of HP. You're going to have a lot of HP regen. Agility gives you armor for some reason, nobody knows why, and attack speed. So attack speed actually increases your DPS. So these are mostly DPS heroes. But it also increases your armor, and that's because they had to find the second stat in Dota, the original. And well, in Warcraft 3 there are only a limited amount of stats you can give someone. So they chose armor. Intelligence is mana and mana regen. So out of this you can see that the strength champions are mostly the tankiest. The agility heroes are mostly the highest DPS, and the intelligence are mostly the ones that cast the most spells. So that's just from that. But now we're going to search for roles, because every champion has a role in a team. So we have a lot of roles, not just in League of Legends. You basically have carry and support. That's it. But well, here's support, I guess. And you have jungler. So you have 3 roles. And then you can say top laner, but top laner is basically either a carry or a tanky dude, which is tanky DPS, but it's still a carry. But he's just not building carry items. But here you have all kinds of different roles, and I'll explain every role a little bit. Carry is a hard carry. I will show you there are lots of them, but most of them are agility. Those are weak champions, as in HP wise, most of the time, although there are strength carries, as you can see as well. There are not a whole lot of intelligence carries. But the strength carries are mostly tankier, but they can actually kill the entire enemy team. That's what a carry does. A carry farms all game, and the job of the rest of the team is to disrupt the enemy carry, to protect their own carry, and to get their own carry fed. That's what this game is. This game is not League of Legends. I keep repeating that, but it seems that with every game people are comparing it to League of Legends. You can't compare it, because in League of Legends you just have 5 champions, one of which is a support champion, so that's not the one going to carry, and you just hope that one of those 4 other champions is going to get fed and carry you through the game. Here you have to pick before the game starts who's going to be our carry, because other champions don't really have that carry potential. By the way, these are not all hard carries. Drow Ranger, for example, would be a hard carry. She is really dependent on her items, and the more items she gets, same goes for Alchemist, for example. The more items they get, the better they will do, and they will actually be able to take out the entire enemy team. We also have carries that are kind of soft carries, so they can do a lot of damage, but they cannot take out the whole enemy team on their own with proper support, of course, but without any damage on the rest. And one such would be Broodmother, for example. She's more of a of a pusher, and she can do a lot of damage. She can gank like nobody's business. She's just not someone that can take out the whole enemy team. And there may be others. I don't really know everyone yet, but we have Ursa the Pop Stomper. You've seen me play him. He's pretty cool to start with. It's pretty easy to play. Sniper, who's pretty easy to play. Those are also hard carries. They can take out the entire enemy team. They can push. They can basically do everything. Yeah, then another role. Let's just go on to the roles. Disabler. These are guys with stuns, and you can play them as support champions. As you can see, Crystal Maiden. You've seen me play that. We've seen... oh, come on. I can't find him. Anyway, is it this guy? Yeah, Shadow Demon. We've seen him as well. So Shadow Demon is also a disabler. He's also mostly played as a support. You can see on the top, let me scroll through all of this. Here, he's ranged, so that's kind of, well, his attack type. He's a support, he's a disabler, and he's a nuker. So you can play him as different roles in a team. And yeah, it depends on what you want to do in your team. So a disabler is someone who ganks, for example, disables the enemy by stunning them, slowing them, doing something to them that makes the carry, so your carry, able to catch up and get the kill. But you're not going to take the kill yourself because you're not the carry. So really important to understand that. And lane support, those are the ones that have mana regen, health regen, things like that. This guy is mana regen. You can see lane support. It says she has mana regen. Keeper of the Light, I would expect here as well. Yeah, Keeper of the Light has mana support as well. So yeah, you can give mana to your carry. These are the ones that kind of support the carry, or in the other lane, support the solo guy, because the carry is not necessarily the solo guy. They can help out with mana, with escapes, with all kinds of goodness. So this guy, for example, provides an escape. The Keeper of the Light provides an escape and mana regen. This guy provides, as I said, mana regen, but also has a stun and a slow. So yeah, disabler and a lane support. Anyhow, so they support in the lane. They stay with their carry most of the time and just help them win the lane. Initiator. Yeah, these are very well known in League of Legends. In League of Legends, pretty much anyone can initiate. No, not everyone, but most of the champions can. As you can see here, it's about, well, under half, I would say. So under half the champions can actually do that. So these are the ones that actually have skills that allow the rest of the team to catch up. So they have AoE slows, they have knockups, they have all kinds of goodies that allow them to start a fight. I don't know. I don't know all of these heroes, I have to be honest, because as it says, I haven't played that much yet. But initiators, it's really important to have one. Because if you don't have one, how are you going to start the fight? So obviously, as it says, Crystal Maiden, even though she has a stun and a slow, is not an initiator. Because she cannot run in, because she will die. She will die before she gets, well, her skills off. And my personal favorite currently is Tidehunter, and I can't find him, of course. But he should be between these. I don't know where he is. He will probably be with these guys though. I don't know, he's pretty, yeah, here he is. Here he is. Yeah, I didn't know that was his picture, but Tidehunter is probably my favorite initiator. He has great skills, he has a slow, he has an AoE stun knock-up thingy, and he's super tanky. So all in all, he is just great at initiating fights, and that's what an initiator does. So the guys that don't really need to farm, they just need to initiate fights, and most of the time these are the ones that you they're mostly durable, as you can see, because most of them are in the strength category, so they can go in and stay alive while doing so, and people won't focus them too much because, well, that's the way it works. You don't focus the tanky dude. But yeah, they start a fight and then run out when they get low. They don't really have to, yeah, farm a whole lot. That's why they go in what's called the long lane, or, well, I like to call it the vertical lane. It's a little bit better name, I think, for the new players, because you have horizontal lanes and vertical lanes. The vertical lanes are longer than the horizontal lanes, which is kind of stupid, but it's the way it is. So they're more dangerous. The distance between the towers is bigger, so you kind of have to be more careful. That's why there's normally tanky dude there. Either that or someone with an escape, but we'll get to that when we discuss, well, what's expected of you and such. And, well, we also get escape in a moment. So junglers. Aren't a whole lot of junglers, but these are champions that can spend most of their time in the jungle. We've seen Enigma in one of the last games. By the way, you can click these guys, and I accidentally did that, to see all of their skills and such. These are guys that can spend most of their time in the jungle. Let me select jungler once again. We've seen Ursa. In my Ursa game, I don't really remember how much I jungle, but I think quite a lot. You can take out the jungle with these guys no problem, because they either spawn minions, or they just have a lot of lifesteal, or they just, yeah, well, they just AoE everything down. So these are the guys that normally can farm up in the jungle and then support the lane, or like in Ursa's case, they are a carry, so they use that XP and that jungle boost to actually get their gold going. Anyhow, support, well, it's pretty much the same as a lane support, except that you can support every lane. So I've played 2 games now on my, or I have 2 games on my channel now with roaming supports. Crystal Maiden, my personal favorite, because she has a stun and a slow. She's just really, really vulnerable. She's super squishy. But yeah, as you can see, this guy, Tidehunter, also support. So you can use him as a support as well. Venomancer, also one of my favorites. He pushes the lane. He can support all three lanes. He can basically do whatever he wants. Yeah, you should really check out some of these heroes if you want to, but the support heroes are probably the best to start with, because you don't want to start with a carry and be very vulnerable and have a lot expected from you. Anyway, durable then. Yeah, that's mostly the strength heroes. That's just the guys that are tanky. They're like super beefy, and as you can see, the Tidehunter once again there. But they are just, yeah, the ones that don't die, and that's all there's to it. And you have the Ursa as well. We saw him. The Lone Druid, he was a jungler, and yeah, who's also a carry. So you can have durable carries, and yeah, that's just completely different from any other MOBA that we've seen. It's yeah, you can actually be tanky and a carry. But you'll have to check out the individual stats on these guys, because every combination is possible, I think. You can actually, carry support would probably be a problem to find, but there might be one, I don't know. Then nukers, yeah, they're mostly intelligence heroes, of course, because as I said, these are mostly the casters. So these are the guys that just are the Vigars of Dota. They have a large burst, especially this guy. I've seen him a lot of times. He does a lot of damage instantly, and that is that's hard to deal with. And these are the guys that you want to play as the support most of the time. So they're most of the time not really the carry types, because you want to help out your team by nuking down one guy, and then your carry can take out the rest. But you want to nuke down the enemy carry. So yeah, nukers, they come in all shapes and sizes, as you can see, but most of the time they are those intelligence heroes. And that's just the way it is. So then pushers are the ones that make sure that your towers don't go down. So Venomancer, my personal favorite, but that's not because he's great, that's because he looks like, or he plays like Heimerdinger, and I love Heimerdinger. So he plays wards that shoot, so kind of like the turrets from Heimerdinger, only you can place way more, and they will be able to push the lane and make sure that you hold the lane until someone else comes in to actually defend the lane. So they kind of either take out turrets. Broodmother, I said, is also a really good one. But they either take out the turret or they prevent the wave from pushing into your turret. So they can take out large amounts of minions, they can take out turrets really quickly. Those kind of champions, basically. And then finally, the escapes. These are the ones that go in the long lane. And as you can see, those are mainly agility heroes. Also some intelligence heroes, because they are casters and they sometimes need to have something to get into the fight or get out of the fight. Queen of Pain, a really famous one. For that, she has a blink ability that allows her to get into the fight, do her damage, and then get out of the fight again. And yeah, she is really strong with that. So she's a really hard nuker, but she still has an escape. So that's excellent. But yeah, well, just the escape abilities are mostly just champion dependent. So what kind of escape it is. Sometimes it's a dash. Most of the time it's a dash. Sometimes it's a blink. The difference between it is, of course, where you can and cannot travel. Just try some different things out. It's basically you have to understand of these guys that you have the choice of any combination of skills, because there are so many guys, and yeah, you can see melee, ranged. The melees are mostly in the strength, the ranged are mostly in the intelligence, and you can just do whatever. Just scout around for a champion that you like. Personally, my favorite would be either ranged and then support. So these would be my favorites. Or carry and then melee. That's good too for me. But that's because my playstyle is a certain way. That does not mean these champions are better than the other ones. It just means that for my playstyle, this is better. It also means that if my champion or if my team needs to have a carry, which is normally not the problem. Normally the problem when you start off, like I do, most of the times your team doesn't have a support. So I just go into this, I say support, and I don't want to play a melee support. There aren't a whole lot of melee supports anyway. Tidehunter is still very good, but it's just not my playstyle. I'm not good with melee supports. So I'm going ranged, and then you can see all of these choices are available. You can basically pick one that fits your playstyle. I like this one, as I said. I like this one. Not because they're better, just because they fit my playstyle. So that's it for the champions. I hope you learned a little bit on how this works. So how the champion diversity works, and just go watch in or go look in these champions which one would be yours to play, and you have to look through the skills a little bit of what they do and what they should be used for, because it's different with every one of them. Anyway, next time we will discuss the items As you can see, they're also in here. I just click learn here and you can see all of the champions. So you don't have to learn in game. You can actually learn outside of the game. And next time we're going into the items, and the time after that, I guess the shops, the map setup and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time. GG.